14 billionaires belong to the most secretive family in the world.
We are the flour in your bread, the salt on your fries, and the chocolate in your dessert. We are the pork or chicken you eat for dinner, the cotton in your clothing, and the fertilizer in your field. We are Cargill, the second largest private company in the world.
Cargill has engaged in wartime profiteering in World War II. They tried to corner the corn market during the Dust Bowl, and they've obliterated rainforest biomes. They made a record $165 billion last year. Their intelligence on food and agriculture has even been said to exceed the CIA's. But it's entirely up to the Cargill family what is made public, because they still own 88% of the company. They are one of 4 corporations that nearly all agricultural commodities pass through, but their invisibility is no accident. You can't boycott Cargill if you can't see Cargill.
Shalom, Kahala Yahawah B'Shem Yashai, B'Shem Qadash. Double honors my teachers, the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and mercy to the elect, who are the house of David reborn again in this generation. And shalom to the 130 Yasharallah, who today are known as the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, who before losing our true heritage were known as, and still are, the true Hebrew Israelites of the Holy Bible. In today's lesson, we're going to talk about the company Cargill and how it is an example of the Edomites in power today. But before we get into that, let's read this. This is Job 9:24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? So you see, the company Cargill, you may have heard about it here and there, but like most people, you don't really see it everywhere. But as in that video, like it said, this is the company behind the majority of food staples, at least here in America, right? And who is it ran by, right? Here is a collection of pretty much photos of the Cargill family. And you'll notice that it's basically just a bunch of Edomites. These are the Cargill families who controls and come from the Cargill dynasty, right? And there's a couple of random images here that don't have to do with the family, but for the most part, these are the Cargill family. Now, that being said, this is Esau. This is him and his blessing. Because remember, Esau is the progenitor of these modern day Caucasians, and Esau was given a blessing that he would live off the fatness of the earth and off the dew of heaven, and that basically he would rule the world. And right now we are currently living under the ending stage of the Edomite Empire, and that includes families like this, right? And Esau, when I say Esau, I'm talking about these people in general. Just as you would call the Israelites today Jacob or Israel, you could refer to these Caucasians as Esau or Edom. Well, these people here, they're living deliciously off of the earth. And again, as they should, because right now it is their blessing. And as Esau has been given this power as his blessing, he is doing what he wants to do with it. What is that? Controlling industries, providing for his families, and ruling over the world. And in this case, he's hiding himself, because again, this is why you don't really hear about the Cargill company unless you're looking into the food industry at the deeper levels. But again, as we've seen in the video, this company is a big mover and shaker within the food industry. And in doing so, they've done a lot of shady things in the past to try to get over on the people. Like it said in the video, they tried to corner the market during the Great Depression. They played both sides during the World Wars. And today, they're implicit in spreading a lot of the GMO foods across the world. This is Wisdom of Solomon 15:12. But they counted our life a pastime, and our time here a market for gain. For say they, we must be getting every way, though it be by evil means. So you see, though Esau has been given a blessing to rule the world, he has not done so in righteousness. He has done so with a corrupted mindset, and the current world that we live in is a testament to how he runs things, right? What does it say? As is the king, so are the people. Well, just look at the people around here. The people in this world are corrupt, and that's because the leadership that runs this world is corrupt. And Cargill is no exception. And that is simply because it's ran by Edomites, and their viewpoints and their just nature of being corrupt and ruthless has spread to the company. This is why they are where they are. And this is why the food system here in America is so horrible. It's so defiled and corrupted that it's not even permitted to be sold in the European Union or in other places of the world like Russia and other locations. But this was also a curse upon us, right? This was supposed to be punishment for us Israelites, that we would have to go to our enemies for the want of all things. This is Deuteronomy 28 and 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which Yahawah Bashem shall send against thee, in hunger and in thirst, and in nakedness and in want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck, until he has destroyed thee. So you see, the current rulership of these Edomites over us Israelites, along with all these other heathen nations that have ruled over us over history, was a condition of the curses that have been placed upon us for us falling away from the Lord and not following the commandments which we said we would. And ultimately, this is being done so that way the Lord can test us to see if we could withstand the temptations of the wickedness and continue to serve the Lord, as it says in Judges 2 and 20. Now, here in Isaiah, this is 24 and 5, it says, the earth is also defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinance, broken the everlasting covenant. Now, this point here, I'm going to direct back at this company Cargill, because again, as being one of the larger agricultural and food companies here in America, they've done a lot to pollute the land and defile the food system. And because of that, this is why there's an increased cancer from all the fertilizers that are pushed out there, right? All the chemicals that are known carcinogens that are used to spray on foods to kill off insects. All these things, along with the way that farms are farmed, right? There's a law in the Bible that says every 7th year you have to let the land rest. But these devils, they don't do that. They go out and they seek to harvest every penny of profit out of the land, even at their own detriment. When you look into the farming industry, and especially soil and crop rotations, you'll find that the soil is for the most part depleted. It no longer can sustain a good harvest. This is why they have to use all of these fertilizers. And on top of that, a lot of these fertilizers are petroleum based. They come from oil. So they're basically pumping the ground full of pesticides and poisons, and what they're producing out of it, so that way it won't get destroyed, they pump even more poisons on top of it. And that makes it all the way to your table. And these devils, they don't see any problem with that. Because why? Well, because they're making profit off of it. And they don't, and trust me, they're not eating that food that they serve the general public. They're eating organic, non-GMO, artisanal dishes. Things that are not meant for the standard society. But again, this is just the way that these devils roll. And why is that? Well, like I said, this is their kingdom. And like I said, the world is given into the hands of the wicked. And this is the way the wicked Edomites rule. This is Revelations 11 and 18. And the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come, and the time of the dead, that they should be judged, and that thou shouldest give reward unto thy servants the prophets, and to the saints, and to them that fear thy name, small and great, and shouldest destroy them which destroy the earth. So we're in that time. We're in the end of Edom's rule upon the face of the earth. This is why everything is imploding. And a lot of it is, yes, it's being done by Esau on purpose, but that's because he thinks he's going to be able to turn the tides and he's going to be able to bring forward his new world agenda. But, you know, spoiler alert, the Lord's going to make it to where he ain't going to be able to recover out of this nosedive. And that ultimately this is going to be the end of Esau, the end of Cargill, the end of Edomite rulership upon the face of the earth. And why? Well, like it says here, because it is the time that the Lord is going to bring forward the reward for the prophets and the saints being the Israelites, the prophets being the elect, that are bringing out this truth and teaching our people who we are, the truth of what's going on. And besides that, it's also time for him to take these Edomites out of power and to destroy them, as he referred to them as the destroyers of the earth. Well, hopefully this video was edifying. Until next time, I want to give all honor, glory, and praises to Yahawah, Ba'Shem Yahawashi, Ba'Shem Qadash. Shalom.